All right, Jonathan, we got March birthdays, March tech birthdays.
So starting from last week, I jumped the gun a little bit last week too, or last podcast, but it's your birthday
Well, it was on Friday.
on Friday. Yeah.
And what's interesting is that I actually share a birthday with a few people.
Yeah. So also on the same day, Edwin Turney, the co-founder of AMD.
Who's
Oh, nice.
who is AMD? Gerard?
That's a graphics, or not a graphics processor. It's a CPU maker. Um, yeah, they're really big right now with the Ryzen processors, and it looks promising for them. Going up against Intel. Intel used to be on top, but I feel like AMD's getting there, or at the top actually,
Nice.
neck and
Nice.
neck.
Yeah, this guy's he's almost 100 years old, huh?
Yeah. Oh
He was
man.
born 1929.
29.
I mean, I don't even know what his history is. I mean, now I'm interested. Let me look him up on Google real quick.
He was the inventor of the computer.
He was the inventor of the computer.
How old? That's how old he is.
Oh, he actually passed away in 2008.
Aw.
R.I.P.
Yeah, he passed away in 2008. Oh, bummer. Oh well.
All right.
What else do we got? Who else am I sharing a birthday with, Jonathan?
We also got Larry Page, who's known for Google.
Larry Page.
Larry Page.
Is he like the founder of Google, or let's see, let's look him up.
He is, yeah, one of the co-founders, along with Sergey Brin.
Sergey, you know the story behind these guys. Let me open up. Can you guys see my Google browser?
Yeah.
Yep.
So these guys had a really interesting story, because they're both dropouts from university. And the way that they started was that they were actually using, they got like a job in the hardware department at the university, and they wanted to try out their own operating system. So they created an operating system which runs like Google. And this operating system would do like the searches. So really Google runs on its own operating system. And so this operating system, they would run it on brand new hardware, and they would test it out for a couple of days. And then they would set up the hardware to go be delivered to whatever department needed to be delivered. But they were using the hardware that was coming in, installed their operating system, tested it, and then they would go and do their thing. Eventually, they put up Google, and everybody started searching through Google, and they quit the university. They didn't graduate, neither one of them. At least I don't think they did, from what I understand. Oh, I'm sorry. He does have bachelor's in science
It might
from
be
University of Michigan. It was my understanding that they actually dropped out, but maybe not. Huh, interesting. Man, I was 4 years old when this guy was born. So yeah, he co-founded Google, co-founded Alphabet, which then it's still Alphabet owns Google, and then co-creator of PageRank. And so, but yeah, that's how these guys got started. So now you can actually, their searching engine is open source and available. Obviously, they have some proprietary stuff built into it, but there is there's a big data search engine. Oh man, what is it called? Let me do a quick search. Big data search query. Hadoop, that's what it is. Hadoop actually is a collection of open source software utilities. Essentially, you can pretty much like hand anything to Hadoop, and it'll index it, and you can search it, you can run queries against it, and it's basically the same type of engine that Google runs. And they claim that that's where Google came from, is from well, that's where Hadoop came from, is from the same search engine that he had. And so
Nice.
yeah. Who else do we got?
And on March 27th, 1947, we have Walt Mossberg, who is a tech journalist. Probably says a lot about tech.
Yeah, apparently he's the executive editor over at The Verge. You ever heard of The Verge? Anybody?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're a big tech company. They do a lot of technology news. I listen to DTNS, which is Daily Tech News Show, and I always hear them announcing The Verge. On The Verge today, they announced. What else do we got? Who else is celebrating a birthday?
On March 23rd, 1944, we have James Clark.
James Clark.
Mosaic and Netscape.
Do you guys remember those browsers?
They sound familiar.
Netscape, yeah.
Netscape was actually the first browser. Mosaic, it was based on Mosaic. And for the longest time, I think Firefox is still based on Mosaic. And so, you know why Netscape went away?
Because Google took over.
I don't think Google's around by the time they were gone.
Oh, really?
Well, maybe they were, but it wasn't the reason. The reason was because they wanted to sell the Netscape browser. And so Microsoft said, why would you buy a browser? We'll give you a free browser in your operating system. And so they came up with IE, Internet Explorer. And from that point, it just went downhill for Netscape. Netscape was actually a really good browser, super good browser. And but yeah, when Microsoft gives something away for free, it's like, how do you compete, with free? It's almost like having free beer,
Go to that.
Who else do we got?
And next, last but not least, we have Steve Ballmer on March 24th.
What? Steve Ballmer.
He's known for Microsoft.
Yeah, I believe he was the second CEO of Microsoft from 2000 to 2014.
Wow.
Jeez.
Yeah. There's a video that he's so well known for. Steve Ballmer. Developers. So yeah, there's this YouTube video. Am I sharing my sound? Let me know if I'm sharing my sound.
Developers.
You guys hear that?
Developers.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then from that, they came up with
I think I remember that. That's pretty funny.
Wow, remix.
Developers.
Yeah, spoiler alert, that's all it says throughout the whole song.
I could tell he's passionate about developing.
He is very passionate. Well, that was the thing, right? Is that Microsoft wanted to make money from the developers. It's like, hey, let's empower the developers to just, give them the tools that they need in order to develop software, so that whatever software the developer runs on Windows, and the more software you get out there that runs on Windows, naturally, more people are going to want to buy Windows and not want to buy any other operating system. So they invested big on developers. So, but that was
Crazy.
that was the thing.
And that's pretty much all this week's birthdays in tech.
Sweet. All right. We'll see you next week for the next this week or this month in birthday techs. What are we
Yeah.
calling this segment
I think
anyways?
we should call it Week in Tech.
The weekend this weekend. Well, this weekend tech is the
Yeah, that's history.
yeah, we're just tech birthdays.
Tech birthdays, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Birthdays this week.